Second there, guys. Alright, guys, we get started there in a couple of minutes. Just give everyone a chance to hop on. Let me share this link real quick with everyone. What's good, brother? How you doing, man? We get started there, guys, in a couple of minutes. Just give everyone a chance to hop on. Give me a second, guys. I'll be right back. Just get a cup of water. Alright, alright. What's up, Melamber? How you doing? Looking forward to your hard time from G and Dxy Analysis. Hello, everyone. What's good, Colin? How you doing, man? Also, Colin, I'll reach out to you in a while after the stream. I'll reach out to you and I'll get you sorted with that account. So, don't worry, brother. Alright, guys, one more minute. We'll get started. We'll go through everything really quick. Bitcoin took a massive dumping yesterday. And I know a lot of people were actually really scared. Just take a look at where it reacted from. What's like a hard time frame? Coincidence or no? You see that? Absolutely beautiful. Here's a big reason why it came down as well. Obviously, fundamentally, China banned Bitcoin, so this is why it took a huge tumbling. Alright, one more minute, we get started. I know I was a bit late, apologies, I was trying to fix something with the recorder. But I think now everything's good. Alright, guys, let's get started. Alright, so I'd like to welcome everyone that hopped on to today's call. Make sure my mic is way up. Perfect. So in today's In today's YouTube live, as usual, we're going to go over where potentially I think the market is going to go. Everything has been going really smooth for us. Last week absolutely killed it, as you guys know. We predicted NFP to the absolute T. So you guys probably remember the beautiful GU trade that we were able to capitalize on here. Okay, so there was multiple areas where you were able to get in on this GPUSD sell, for example. Okay, so for that whole week we were obviously bearish. If you remember the last Sunday call that we had, okay, so the last Sunday live session, did we do one last week? I'm not sure, because I potentially could have been sick that week. I'm not sure, but maybe it was the Tuesday. I'm not sure if it was that or exactly or not. But yeah, so our bias obviously was still pretty bearish on GPUSD, and you're able to capitalize on multiple sells. So I broke this GU sell down in a YouTube video that's going to be coming out maybe tomorrow morning. Okay, so I just finished recording it like an hour ago. I'm going to edit it, upload it tomorrow morning, so definitely watch that video tomorrow. But as I was saying, we are obviously higher time frame structure. Okay, it was obviously clearly saying sells. Okay, so we're waiting for just price to keep coming up to supply areas, okay, and strong supply areas. Okay, so in this instant, this was one, and we were just looking to sell, and then we had another one right here, okay, where you could have sold off, and then there was like multiple 15-minute time for entry. So for example, you had this one, beautiful sell-off once again that you could have capitalized on here, and then there was the last one where we got in. Okay, so if you guys remember that trade, we got on this 2-hour IC, and away it goes. Okay, and volume played a huge part in here. As you guys can see, the volume when it came to this candle was really strong. Okay, and I discussed volume once again, and as I said, volume is very important. Now you can either use just like volume such as this, for example, and the thing with this volume is it's not 100% accurate, because like you can't actually get the proper data. Like you can't actually get for example data such as like the futures market, for example, which is why we use order flow, because it's accurate. But obviously there was a study done on volume, so like the Forex volume that we have right here, like using this indicator for example, in comparison to the volume that we have in the futures market. Okay, and it wasn't exactly spot on, but it was 90% the same results as the futures market. Okay, so yes, it's not 100%, but at the end of the day, it's still a very powerful tool. And things that volume can tell you, even if you're not using order flow, things that volume can tell you, like for example, you see this candle looks smaller than this previous one, but the volume in here is much bigger. And honestly, it's very difficult for you to trade smart money, like whether we're talking like normal just SMC, you know, looking for the ICs, etc., or we're talking like Wyckoff as well. It's very difficult to trade that without using volume. Okay, so it's very important. Volume, I always used to pay attention to volume, especially when I was taking a look at the order flow footprints. Okay, but I'm taking a more active approach when it comes to volume, and I'm just going to keep it on my chart here from now on. Let me get rid of this. Okay, so I'm going to keep it on my chart here from now on, because it's very important. Okay, now obviously if you're using order flow, most likely you're not going to use this, because you're going to be using the volume that comes in the order flow software, as well as you're obviously going to be getting the exact amount of contracts in each candle, okay, from the futures market. So if you're using the futures market, then realistically there's probably no need for this. But if you're not using that, then this is a very good indicator in a sense, okay, to let you know how much volume do we have to the downside, how much volume do we have to the upside. Okay, so this is a very huge reason. This node right here, okay, huge volume came in comparison to all our previous volume nodes right here. Okay, a lot of selling pressure came in right here, even though you don't see it from the candle. Okay, so just from a visual point, you won't actually see it just by looking at this candle. And this is why we take a beautiful sell right here. Obviously NFP we had as well. So as you guys know, we held NFP true to that week. I know some of you guys made some predictions for NFP. I remember Connor, you made this really nice prediction on NFP. You know, we wanted price to go up first on GU and go down. Obviously the prediction for the DXY was to go down first and then go up, and it did exactly just that. So price was so slow. Obviously as price was moving down, we had a lot of highs being cleared. Okay, a lot of liquidity being built up, and that's what we got with this candle, and a big move down. Okay, so overall, when we take a look at the market itself, Still very, very bearish. Obviously, we had some sort of slowing down. Prices are just kind of redistributing right here on the 12-hour. There was not much movement going on. Just multiple highs being created, multiple lows, and yeah, just a lot of manipulation kind of going on. And eventually, price broke out for us right here. So we had a pretty significant low right here, where plenty of liquidity would be here. A lot of protected stops right here. So obviously, we would be targeting this low if we are continued bearish on GBPUSD. And before I look at if I think potentially GBPUSD is going to the upside or the downside, we're going to take a look at DXY, obviously, because this is what I like to do. I like to mark out my DXY analysis, look at what the dollar is going to be potentially doing for this week, and then I base all of my trades, okay, all of my other currency pairs off of what I see the DXY doing, okay. So DXY has just been kind of climbing up. As you guys can see, it's just been climbing up for quite a while for us. Has volume profiler been deleted from trading? You could use have a look because it's not available on mine. The volume profiler, if you're talking about the one that I had, you just search volume, and it's this one. But volume obviously is not going to appear on the DXY or gold. Okay, so it's only going to appear on the Forex currencies. If you're on about the volume profiler, then this should be in the on my scripts. This should be in the should be right here. So I believe before it used to be built in right here. I think potentially TradingView could have changed it. Haven't used the volume profile in a while, but it's right up here. So if you take a look at built-ins, volume profile here, and then you have fixed range, a visible range, etc. If this is what you're talking about. So yeah, this is the volume profile right here. All right. So for the DXY, as I said, still pretty bullish on the DXY. I see the DXY for next week clear this high. Okay, so for next week, I believe that we're going to clear this high. Okay, obviously we reacted to this demand. Okay, right here. You could potentially say that this demand was invalidated because it broke below the slow. Overall, though, we simply just wicked underneath it. So for us, that's just like a liquidity clearance, low purge. Okay, and then we look for higher pricing. So when I drop to the lower time frame, okay, when I look at the lower time frame, once again, we haven't been really doing much right here. I mean, obviously after that big move that we had right here, you guys remember this. What's fast doesn't last. We had price come back down, fill in inefficient price action, touch off of our hourly demand right here. So this institutional candle, that's refined. Potentially you might have had like a 15-minute institutional candle or 30-minute somewhere on the smaller time frame, and this is where price came all the way down to, and you guys can see right here. So this was a refined one right here, and bear in mind, like, it filled that imbalance to the absolute T. You take a look at this whole imbalance as a whole. You take a look at this wick, and you take a look at this whole candle, obviously before this was created, and it filled it into the absolute T. You guys can see right there, and away it goes. Okay, other than that though, price has been going up slowly but surely. Just kind of like broke structure right here, and then just pulling back, breaking more structure, creating new highs. But yeah, other than that, there's not much there. We're just looking for price to creep up slowly. As I said, still the start of December. Once we start getting to like mid-December, so maybe this could potentially be our second last week potentially, before obviously things are going to really slow down for that holiday period, and then we look to pick back up in January. Obviously the trading volume is going to be very, very low, as I said, in the second half of the month of December. Okay, so as I was saying, I expect this high to be cleared for next week, and I expect this to be cleared, meaning that for my XXX USD pairs, I'm looking for more sells, and GU has a really, really nice sell that I've been eyeing right here on the 1 hour time frame. So you see this NFP move. Okay, usually NFP creates a lot of nice institutional candles for us. So this last up candle before the big down move, I would like to get in on a sell from here, open, and I look to aim for this low, and I look to aim for this low right here. Okay, yeah, as I said, cleared multiple highs. Okay, multiple highs. Failed to break structure to the upside. So for example, if that candle right here, okay, broke to the upside and broke above here, it would have given us like a change of character. We potentially could have seen higher pricing to clear, but like this, basically even when it came up right up here into the supply right here. The supply was respected. Okay, so it was respected. Prices still continue to the downside. And overall, as I said, all I'd see is just a potential trade back up into this area, mitigate this institutional candle, clear the highs right here, fill in the imbalances, and then potentially could see lower pricing. Okay. So yeah, that's a quick outlook on GPSD. But as I said, we leave price do its thing for Monday, Tuesday. We'll see what happens then, and then we can start breaking it down, going on to lower time frames, breaking it down, trying to identify potential Wyckoff schematics, looking into to get in, because as I said, pairing Wyckoff, smart money, and order flow gives you the absolute ultimate strategy, and like no one can argue that this is potentially the best mix of concepts that you potentially have in this whole industry. Okay, it's so powerful. So definitely advise taking a look at those three concepts and seeing how you potentially could merge it into your own understanding of the market. So as I said, that's where I'll be looking to sell from, this IC. So let's keep an eye out for it, and I'll keep updating you guys. If I see a nice trade right here, I'll probably send in a signal to you guys. But for now, we're just going to watch. GJ, something similar. As I said, it is moving obviously a tiny bit different, and that's a lot to do with the Japanese yen. Okay, but overall, it's still a GBP pair. Okay, so it's going to do pretty much what GBP is going to do, specifically on the higher time frames. Maybe not so much on the lower time frames, but on the higher time frames, it's going to be moving the same. If we were taking a look at the sell as well, we'd obviously be targeting this one right here. This is the only one that I see. When it comes to GP, JPY, and GPUSD, if I'm taking a sell on one, I'm not going to take a sell on the other, because if I believe that both of them are going to be moving the same, then if one of them sells off and it gives me profit, then this should give me profit too. But we take a look at it from the other perspective, and let's say one of them hits a loss, the other one most likely will lose as well, meaning that I wouldn't have been risking 0.5% or 1% risk on that trade. I would have been taking like a one big trade, and it would have been a 2% risk. Okay, so that's why I only take one trade on just one pair. Okay, and for example, vice versa, like if I was buying GPSD, I will not be buying USD CAD as well. It just doesn't make sense, because obviously they're negatively correlated. The correlation might not be that strong. Okay, obviously there's like correlation charts or whatever. You can look it up on Google. It's very easy to find. Obviously the correlation might not be that strong, but the correlation is still there due to the fact that they're both against the one is the base pair. Okay, the USD is the base pair for one, and vice versa for the other. Okay, so as I said, potentially I don't really take a look at JPY that much, but this is what we can potentially see for GJ for now anyways. All right, Euro USD looks, I haven't really been liking USD that much recently. I have not been taking a look at it that much either. I mean, the volume is pretty big. Okay, for that sell-off that we had, that was once again due to the NFP, and it was a really nice sell, and I know multiple smart money people got into this trade right here from this kind of continuation candle. Nothing was clean for me right here. This setup wasn't clean, so yeah, people did get into the sell, but for me it just wasn't clean, so I didn't take a look at this. GU was enough for me. Once again, GU and EU moved nearly pretty much the same. Okay, there's a pretty decent correlation between the two. Okay, nearly identical in some periods. Okay, but yeah, this just wasn't clean enough for me. We had, even like when we take a look at the 15-minute time frame, for example. Okay, where is it? Right here. Yeah, so we had like a double top on the 15-minute time frame. Potentially I could have been saying to myself, yeah, price maybe for NFP, because obviously you can't predict how strong NFP is going to be. Sometimes it's weak, sometimes really strong, depending on the data that comes out. But this move could have been huge, and it could have just cleared here. There was multiple liquidity to the upside, which is just something that I really wasn't interested in. So that's why I just skipped out on it. If it's not clear, if it's not 100% high probable, then I usually just skip it. I understand why it came up here though. Like obviously it came up, touched supply, respected it, filled in the imbalances you guys can see right here. Okay, this was the London and NY overlap, so it was a nice kind of area for that supply to be created. Okay, so good timing. Whereas if this was like, if this IC was created potentially in like Asian session, then I wouldn't really be looking to sell from here. And obviously the mitigation as well occurred during that London and New York overlap. So overall it was pretty decent. As you guys know, NFP did this thing where it makes a fake move and then it goes and trends, something that we always discuss. Yeah, I believe I've even made a lesson on this before already, so you guys already understand how NFP moves is pretty predictable. So yeah, we were able to capitalize on that really nicely. Okay. When it comes to the New York and London overlap, I know a lot of people are going to be asking me about that. So I will definitely make an in-depth lesson and release it into the course next week. Okay. It's just very powerful to understand session to session changes and understand the timing in the market. Very powerful, as I said. And yeah, once you even get this indicator, I kind of do recommend it. So just look it up, sessions, London, NY, Asian. And then I simply just, for the settings, I just get rid of the Asian. Like obviously you can have the Asian session in as well. Okay, but there's no need for the Asian session. But this is beautiful. Very nice. When you want to backtest, for example, the three market phases mixed with the timing. So when we take a look at the three market phase and we take a look at, okay, Asian range being cleared on both sides, and now we have the manipulation and we have the trend. When I look at the green zones, a lot of the time, those green zones are just going to be consolidations. Okay, it is very clear. Like it's consolidations, basically consolidations. Okay, and then you look at how price enters into the next session, makes the manipulation, and then when it goes into the next session, it trends usually. Okay, so yeah, like you can even see it right here. Look, Asia consolidation. Then as we open into New York, we make the fake move. Okay, and then yeah, this was kind of like a double whipsaw action right here with clear high, clear low. But yeah, I'm going too deep into this, so I'm gonna leave it off for now. As I said, we'll discuss this soon. But for now, yeah, we're just gonna take a look at the other pairs really quick. Don't want to take up too much time. All right. Yes, ECHF, nothing. Like, yeah, it's consolidating. You just leave something like this do its thing. When it's consolidating like this, I honestly just leave it. So currently I'm not interested in USD CHF at all. Yeah, we can take a look at the higher time frame analysis for this. It probably is going to follow DXY, as I said. So if I said that I feel like DXY is going to go up, most likely then USD CHF is going to go up. Okay, because obviously it's the basis is the I can't even speak, the US dollar. Okay, as I said, we have multiple liquidity to the upside as well right here. Highs. A lot of bearish momentum right here, which created a lot of inefficient price action. And once we go to the higher time frame, you can see this big move up right here. Okay, so I'll be looking at this to get filled in. But for now, potentially what you can see is like manipulation to the downside. Clear this last low, fill in last imbalances we have right here. Actually, this has been filled in already. Maybe come just a tiny bit down, touch off this demand right here that we have, and then go up. But for now, USDHF, I don't really trade it, don't look at it, so we're just not really going to go over it. There's no point. Your JPY has been doing really nice. It's been very predictable. I had a trade on it last week. As you guys can see, I pointed this out to you guys. I was looking at a sell from the 4 hour. Just didn't come up, unfortunately, to my area, and it just missed me. And then it just kept continuing down. It broke structure, as you guys can see right here. Might look to get in on a re-entry if price comes back up. We did close. Okay, we did close below the slow. We've closed below the slow. So structure, okay, has been validated. The continuation to the downside, okay, it's still going to be happening, okay, because obviously we broke structure to the downside. Okay, we didn't just wake, it was a full body close, so that's a good confirmation for me, and I can feel that he's still looking for sells. Okay, so all I would need is a simple retracement, and I would start making up, okay, looking for my confirmations from the seller right here, from the 2 hour. So I'd obviously be taking a look at my if this is a discounted level, IC candle, etc. So obviously we take a look at USD CAD, and we had another really nice buy. I know a lot of people actually got into this, and I've seen a good few people actually send this into the public chat as well. So really nice setup. As well as that, guys, if you actually haven't already joined the public chat, make sure to head down into the description down below and join our free Discord chat. So make sure to head down to the description down below, and the first link is the link for that chat. So make sure to hop on there. As well as that, if you haven't already, dropped a like on the stream would be really, really appreciated. So yeah, if you take 1 second of your time, just drop a like. It would be greatly appreciated, as I said. So yeah, so USD CAD, as I said, was a really, really nice buy from this 1 hour IC. And once again, this stuff is repetitive, guys. Like, we've seen the same setup occur over and over again. Once you have that eye, once you have an understanding of how the market moves, okay, it becomes very, very predictable. So you have the kind of consolidation that we have right here, the support line, multiple liquidity below these lows, and then we had this wick, push up, change of character, consolidation, manipulates to the downside, okay, and just take a look at the timing. Look at when it hits NY LDN overlap, NY LDN overlap that the IC got created in, and then boom, beautiful, beautiful trade. During NFP as well. Usually USD CAD is like the pair that takes the biggest hit when it comes to NFP, because you get CAD news as well as NFP USD news, okay? So it usually takes a really, really big hit, and it moves the most. I don't know why my eyes hurting so much today for some reason. But yeah, so USD CAD made a really, really nice move for us right here. That's the buy. Personally, I didn't get in, so I'm not gonna lie, I actually didn't get into this trade at all. I didn't even see it. I'm only seeing it right now after a lot of people sent this in to after a lot of people sent this into the public chat. So I believe you guys were, so you guys bought from here, I believe. Where is it? Yeah, so some of you guys were buying right here, as you guys can see. Okay, a good few of you bought this, and a good few as well caught the sell on GU as well. So I'm really, really happy to see that even without the signal, a lot of people were even able to spot this setup in general. Okay, so it was a really, really nice setup. So well done to everyone that got in. CAD-J is a bit interesting. I never take a look at it, but I've seen a few charts of it recently, and it's not too bad. I mean, the volume here is pretty wild, as you guys can tell. A lot of volume, both to the upside and downside, and it's just kind of been consolidating. Obviously, after this, like with JPY pairs, I usually really, really like that market structure. It's very, very predictable. Okay, this is why I like trading Japanese yen pairs, because the market structure is very, very predictable. Now, as we reach and as we start hitting into the demand right here that we can see, obviously on a higher time frame, from a daily perspective, we literally had no demand. Like, if we take a look at from this trend range to this high, so this low to this high, and we take a look at this whole trend range, okay, pretty much no demand under the 50%. Obviously, we had like some right here, for example, but I don't take a look at demand above the 50% at all. So it has to be like 71, 78.6, 88.6. I have to take a look at demand within those levels, and this is the only two that I see right here. And as we approach it right here, the selling momentum, okay, so obviously we had like some large volume to the downside, okay, right here. The selling momentum, as you can see, is kind of decreasing, okay, so the price ranges are getting smaller, okay. And one thing that you'd want to see, of course, which we're still not seeing, but one thing that you would want to start seeing is the volume getting smaller as well. Okay, so you can see throughout this whole pair in general, the volume is pretty high. Okay, but in comparison to this, node, I want to see like smaller nodes right here, and this will it will tell me that as we see the price ranges getting smaller, okay, and the volume decreasing, so the volume nodes are getting smaller as well, that we potentially could be expecting, okay, that these potential demand zones are now starting to get respected. We start seeing accumulation taking profit from the sells, and now potentially passive buyers coming in, and we can start seeing an accumulation start playing out to take price to the upside, because overall we are still fairly bullish on CAD JPY. Okay, this whole up move broke structure right here. We came down, we retraced, and now we're just touching a demand that we could now potentially be looking at another move up on CAD-J. So yeah, and like we still have multiple points of interest to the upside, like multiple areas of inefficiency, highs, etc. And overall, as I said, it's very, very bullish on CAD-J. Take a look at the monthly right here. Okay, we broke structure. We're just looking up, up, up. So yeah. So when we take a look at the lower time frame, take a look at like it's 2 hour. As we are approaching, okay, this is starting to potentially look more like an accumulation. Okay. So we can see after this big move down that we had right here, and obviously we had like some sort of gap, and price action has been kind of consolidating, and that's kind of what you want to see when you're expecting the accumulation to happen. Now I don't really care about any of the phases, like phase A, phase B of this accumulation. Nothing really matters to me right here. What I can tell is I understand the functions behind it right here, so I can see, okay, boom, very, very strong selling coming in, okay, with this right here, and then straight away, okay, you can see a bounce coming in right here. So now this is our first potential sign, and this bounce obviously comes in after we see this demand being touched. Okay, first potential sign that buyers are starting to come into the market, and then I just start seeing consolidations, and I start seeing lows, and I start seeing that each time the price goes down to break structure and to clear this liquidity, okay, the price ranges are getting smaller. So the space between this low and this low is smaller, and once again this low and this low is getting smaller, and the range is getting tighter and tighter constantly. Whereas right here, okay, it was wider. Okay, so this is a sign that the sellers are starting to start taking profits, basically. Okay, and then I'm starting to see bullish. Okay, so I'm starting to see bullish tests to the upside. Okay, so we've seen multiple tests to the upside. Okay, secondary tests. Okay, and I'm starting to see minor signs of strength right here. So MSOS, we see we kind of broke structure within this range. So that would be like a minor sign of strength is broken structure within the range. Okay, and then the major sign of weakness is structure broken outside of the range. Okay, so this would be MSOS, for example, and then once I see price come out outside of this range, okay, then I would like to see the major sign of strength, and then the last thing would be for me to trade in to this range one more time. Okay, one more test after maybe we get this spring. I don't know if, like, I'm not going to be predicting what potentially could happen. I'm just going to wait for a price to do its thing, but that's what I'll be looking for. I'll be looking for right now a buy. Potentially this could just be a redistribution. We continue to the downside more, but because we touched this demand now, I'm in the thought of like potentially we're going to see this accumulation play out. Okay, so as I said, one more time we see this. I want to mitigate one more time. We test, and then obviously we continue upside. Obviously multiple liquidity upside, imbalances, etc. that I want to see get filled in. All right. I'm gonna go over like 2-3 more pairs, and that's about it, guys. So gold, I think one of you guys asked about that. So gold was decent. So yeah, this was the analysis that I sent on gold, as you guys can remember the last time. So that was a sell on gold that we were able to catch. So yeah, this was old analysis from last week. That was a beautiful sell that potentially a lot of people were able to capitalize on. Once again, order flow. Okay, order flow confirmation with this one. So as I see, a lot of you guys are actually absolutely killing it in that order flow chat. A lot of people are getting more interested in it and mixing it with their smart money concepts. And once again, as I said, it's a very powerful tool. Once you can bring it in with your smart money, a lot of people like a lot of people don't even know about order flow. Like they don't even understand that this thing exists. Looking at the futures market, you then correlate it with the Forex market, okay, because they're very similar. Like, so a lot of people just simply use it as it is and just trade using like an order flow strategy. They're just taking a look at like whatever, I don't know, deltas, just taking a look at price action just from the futures. Whereas what we're doing is we're mixing this in with smart money points of interest, etc., and we're using it as a confirmation. And that's where the power is incredible. And you guys have been seeing this a lot, and I'll be definitely posting a lot more about it. So yeah, I'll be posting a lot more about it, like posting charts on Instagram for you guys to see how we were able to mix in the order flow with smart money, etc. So there's just the whole world out there that there's just still so much to learn when it comes to order flow. So yeah, gold, as you guys can see right here, very weak candle. Okay, I mean there was a huge volume, as you guys can tell, very low volume throughout, and then obviously NFP came and we had a huge volume to the upside, and it first continued to the upside. So with this one, it was interesting because it didn't do what GU did, where it just came up, where it just came up, obviously, took the highs, and then just continued downside. This one came up, downside a tiny bit, and then continued to the upside. And this was mostly because we had a lot of buyers, something that you wouldn't see. Okay, and this was something that you're able to see as well from the order flow perspective. Something that you would have not been able to see if you were just taking a look at price action. I would have been looking to sell because I've seen this massive up, basically massive orders to the upside. Okay, and you guys would have been able to see that as well on order flow. So if you're looking at the order flow, you would be seeing that there was just massive contracts being placed to the upside. Obviously, because it was NFP, so I would have been looking to buy still. Okay. What I've been seeing as well is usually a lot of time is if I'm actually looking to sell your GPSD, I'm actually not looking to sell gold as well, even though they're bought against XXUSD. You'll notice a lot of time that they're usually going opposite, especially on the lower time frame. Okay, short term, they're usually doing opposite to what the other one does. So see, this one's going down, this one's kind of going up right here. Okay, just take a look at that price action, compare, and you kind of see that there's some sort of negative correlation going on there. But yeah, for gold, we did get a bullish engulfing candle right here, so potentially you can see higher pricing. That's something that I would like to see. Obviously, we made this big move up, as you guys understand. We cleared these highs, which is something we were tagging a lot, okay, for a long time, and a lot of people were they were looking to sell, whatever it was, they were looking to sell. Maybe they were looking to sell this support. Once again, you see this manipulation candle that you have people trying to sell that support, that resistance. Cleared it, and now we obviously made a nice distribution that I broke down, and I showed you guys this nice distribution that we had right here. Okay, and this was a nice sell that we were able to capitalize on. 400 pip sell. I sent this in, so right there, so you guys can take a look at it right here. I broke it down, and then you had a Wyckoff schematic play out beautifully, and then here was the opportunities that you would have got into on the lower time frames. And I also had that same one, but on a higher time frame perspective, just from a pure 12-hour perspective. It was this one right there. It's all predicted at the time, and look where it came down to. Okay, so it's really not rocket science. Once you understand the way price action is delivered, okay, it's very simple. So yeah, overall, I'm still gonna be looking for buys on gold. For now, I'm just chilling though. Last thing, Bitcoin. I know a lot of you guys were kind of stressed about crypto in general as it felt. As I said at the start, this was due to China selling. And look where Bitcoin came down to. Like, it came down right to this institutional candle. So this supply that we have, this demand that we have right here, while I refine it to this institutional candle, touch right off it, and we get that reaction. Could potentially come down lower and clear this lower right here. Overall, as I said, I'm still very bullish. I don't think we will see an ATH being created. Yeah, I don't think we'll see a new all-time high being created before the end of this year. But I do believe that Q1 should be really strong. Okay, we should see all-time high being eventually cleared for Q1 next year. Other than that, look at what price has been doing in the past, and just history repeats itself, guys. Okay, this was needed. Like, we needed to see this move down. I was not surprised. I was not stressed. I was nothing. Okay, look, we had this big move down, and we ended up recovering and making a new all-time high. So what makes you think that this move down is going to be the end of it? So every time we have a move down like this, okay, people start getting scared. They start selling all of this. This is exactly the point of it, for you to just sell. Okay, at the end of the day, this is a cheaper price to get into. These are more discounted pricing. So every time it falls like this, myself, I'm just going to be buying, adding to my buy positions, because it's a long-term vision, a long-term. I believe that this is gonna be very big in the future. You're already seeing how crypto is coming into our daily lives as it is. Okay, a lot of companies are incorporating it. You can use crypto in a lot of places. I believe even in some places in the world, you have like normal retail places. For example, Tesco, you can go in, you can like buy your groceries with Bitcoin, stuff like that. And you even get rewards. Okay, you're getting rewarded for using cryptocurrency. So it's something that's just going to be used worldwide. And when you have something like this, it nearly becomes too big to fail. That's not to say that you could have a huge crash to the downside, and you can see crazy pricing. But as long as you got in at a neat price, and yeah, you just hold on for dear life basically, and you just let price do its thing. You just, yeah, once you give it time, we'll see where we're at. But as I said, 100k, not far off. We'll definitely hit this early next year. And yeah, that is it pretty much, guys. Yeah, that is it pretty much for this analysis. As I said, we'll see how the week plays out. As I said, I'll see if I can send in a couple of signals here and there. As I said, the market is slowing down a small bit. So this could potentially be the second last week that we're looking to trade, and we take a small 1 week, 2 week break, whatever it is, and then we look to get it back in January. But other than that, that is it. I appreciate every single one of you for hopping on. Once again, don't forget to join our Discord down below. If you're interested as well in hopping on the team, make sure to check out the website. That's the second link. There is also a way that you can join the team for absolutely for free. All you simply got to do is just drop down. You take a look right here. Go down into the description, click on the Vantage link, sign up with Vantage. You actually get a nice bonus as well. Okay, so if you sign up with Vantage, and yeah, deposit 500 USD minimum, and you can start getting trading with us for absolutely for free if you're interested in that as well. Other than that, guys, I appreciate every single one of you for hopping on, and I'll catch you guys on the next stream. Have a great one. Bye bye.